Hi, so I'm going to be working on some refactoring today. Haven't gotten too much. I got the input working. Actually, why don't we do a recap? Where I left off, I have basically a test character I downloaded from Mixamo. Mixamo named her Amy. I have, a camera control, and I have movement controls, but no animation. She just idles. I started with a quick preliminary blueprint implementation, and then I moved it into C++. And while I was editing the last few videos, I have a big long list of notes of things I'd like to refactor. So that's what I'm going to do today. For one thing, we can just get rid of this. That works. And I want to move this part into C++. And let's see, what else do I want to do? Oh, well, there's a pretty big deal I wanted to do, and that was I wanted to move in C++ the most of the code out of the character class. Well, these can probably stay. Actually, no, I want to move this part of the logic. Yeah, I think I'll move the whole thing into a player controller instead. And then what else do I have? I wanted to... Oh, this I'll do right now. Player settings component is in the wrong location, so I should be able to move to folder. Let me make sure that writer did not move it. Oh, writer. Oh. All right, maybe I could just... There. Should have done that from the get-go. Would have been a lot easier. Okay, so that's done. Everything should still build okay, just to be sure. Couple of other small things before we get into the bigger stuff. In here, I've handle move input, handle look input. Oh, I already did that. This used to be called handle mouse input, and I renamed it to be a little more generic. And in handle move input, in my last session, I kind of ran into some issues getting this right, and I think I had it working correctly in the first place. I just ended up had a different issue. This will work. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I'm going to move this into the player controller though, and then yeah. So let's do that. Where can I put it? No, let me do folder. No. Okay. So now I have an empty player controller. What I want to do is, let me go to player character. I basically want all of this to go in here. Okay, just gotta include all this stuff. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, I just haven't created that yet. So, if not... const a Mayday character base. I need to do get pawn, right? Oh, but I'm not in the right. Fix those. Okay. Let me make the put these in .h. That would be helpful, would it not? So I'll just cut them out of here. And put them in here. Oh, yes, and I need that too. What? It's public, okay. There we go. Why not? What are you doing, Ryder? How does that fix it? I'm confused. I could have sworn there was a override. Okay, let me check my notes. Oh, it's just set up input component. Let's make this a cast check, actually. And, okay, well, that should be public, right? So I should be able to get the, oh, okay, so should I make that public, like I just did? Or should I leave it protected and, do I leave it, do I leave it protected and make it a friend class? Oh, or do I make a getter for it? I think I should make a getter for it. Actually, is there a on possess? Let me check something. When does this get called? I was most of the way there. Okay, I'm just gonna stick with that because that's more that's all I need there. What are you saying, const? Yeah, okay. I should probably go through that and double check that that's true or not, but... Oh, what? Oh, because I put it in Mayday, player Mayday character, right. Okay, what don't you like now? Oh, incomplete type. And now we can do this. And now that that's done, I can go back here. I don't know, I don't want to rename it. Introduce variable. Okay, yeah. You can be const. That's not const, although I wonder, can this function be const? No. That can be const. Okay. So, error. Okay, conversion errors. It's probably a restart Unreal kind of situation. So let's do that. I changed a couple things at the beginning. That's right. Okay, so let's try this again after quitting and rebuilding. Or at least I'll get a better idea of the error. Huh. Oh, it's probably jump. Let me just comment that out. There we go. Yeah, okay, well that makes perfect sense because there's no jump method in a player controller. I have to create one. Why don't I go ahead and do that, I suppose? So I'll just here. Okay. Basically the same thing here. Oh. Is jump protected or not in pawn? Let's try a character. Yes, okay. I'm technically not using that, but it should be okay. I think that's all I need to do for that. And I need to fix it up here, of course. So as I get closer, you know, as I get further along, I expect that I'll be moving some of this stuff around, right? Like, I mean, yeah, I guess this is fine. Is jump curious? Is jump virtual? It is. So I could just override jump, right? Here, same here. I don't need to do any of this calculation if there's no pawn, so I'll move that up here. And then, okay. Okay, so that is, that should work. Let's test it. Okay, moment of truth. Didn't crash. Oh, but my movement does not work now. So why is it not calling? That? Let's see. No, it didn't call it. So what good are you, set up input component, if you never get called? I need to go into my game mode, blueprint, which is under, where did I put it? Where's my game mode? All right, fine, we'll do it this way. I just dropped it in content. Let me make a folder for this. Because I'm probably gonna need a game instance at some point too. Mayday player controller. Now it should work. Except it doesn't. Well, let's see if it hits that breakpoint at least. And it does. It's not a... Okay. What could you be? Does it happen too early? Like I was worried about? So maybe I need another way to get, can I use get owner? All right. Anyway. Okay, so it's too early. Dang. So how am I going to get this? Unless I want to attach the settings to the controller. I think I can't. Actually, that makes sense. How does that work? How would that look in there here though? Right, because I have a test character. I want it there. I think. So now I'm thinking about it, right? I mean, yeah, so okay, so player controller should be able to get the pawn. But I'm guessing it's too early in the process. Or, you know, I could hold on. All right, let's just, and then I'm going to cast it. Okay. We'll stick a breakpoint there. We'll rebuild. Sometimes breakpoints don't work quite right when you do this live coding, but it's usually okay. Especially since we're not doing anything super complex yet. Okay. Okay, so it's null. Okay, let's see. Let's do a little more exploration here. Come on, where's the limit little? There we go. The player. Yeah, that's not what I need. This class is huge. Spectator pawn. Pawn is null pointer. So it just hasn't happened yet. This is happening too early. Okay. Let's see. So I guess I could override on possess and see what happens first. Yeah, I guess that's what I'll do. Okay. So let's find out. All right, so I think it's so that should be enough, right? If I just do those 2 breakpoints and then rebuild, of course. Hopefully it won't optimize that out. Yep, that's why it's happening first. Well, that's not helpful. Okay, so I just realized that we started working on stuff, but I wasn't recording, so I'm recording again. To pick up where I left up what I'm working on, I'm fixing up. Well, I ended up in the data asset, just cleaning up some code here, so I'm gonna make this protected, for example. That shouldn't break anything. Okay, good. So what I did here was, this was already, I already wrote this get input action, but I wasn't using it right here. So I'm using it now. Let's see, what else did I change that while I wasn't recording? I think that's it, actually. So what I determined I need to do to complete this change to start using the player controller is I can still use setup input component. The only reason it's not working right now is the pawn hasn't been possessed yet. I mean, that's fine for these because it checks it right away, just returns, right? But this guy needs the configuration, and it only gets called once. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to move the player settings components. I'm going to get rid of this getter altogether. I'm going to move this into the player controller. Except what did I guess I made it protected. Yep. I had a forward declaration for that. And then yeah. Then, if I go back over here, this is going to not work, but I can just say player settings component input configuration. And I don't need any of that. I don't know what key press I always hit that causes that to happen. It's kind of annoying. Oops. All right. Can you be const? No. Now that should work without any trouble. And I can take. I'll have to reset it up in. I'll have to create a blueprint actually. Or once it builds, let's see. Mayday character CPP line 13. Oh, right. Well, that makes sense. And I actually do need to put it in the constructor on the other side too. So, good catch. Now let's try. Okay. Oh. Uh-oh. This cast checked. Yep. Okay. That's fine. Let's just see what type it is. Okay. It's null. What? Why are you calling me? Or oh, it's no longer null. What type is it though? It's just a U input component. Okay. I just need to get far enough right now to be able to redo the configuration, and then I think that will work. Right, because there was a setting in the player blueprint that I needed to set to make it use the right type, and I probably have to do that in the player controller now. That's fine. Just have to make one. Ugh. Okay. So let's set the input configuration. That's the only thing this has right now. And then let's see, input. Why don't you see my... Why are you not seeing my... Oh, wait, is it a blueprint type? Probably not. Enhanced player input. And this is enhanced input component. Well, isn't that inconvenient? Is this something I need to do in the project settings? I bet it is. No. I don't see it. I mean, I could add a default mapping context, but I'm going to put that into C++. I was planning on doing that later. Let's see. I'm going to have to explore that. User settings. Oh, wait. Default input component class. Wow. That was, Now what? Still no input. But I'm not sure about what that just was. Oh, well, that might be because I commented all that code out. Yeah, that ain't gonna work, is it? But it didn't crash or... Okay, rebuild there. So I'm also working on a animation for the opening thing, and I haven't been recording it mainly because I was just playing around and I ended up with something that I really liked and I got really deep into it and I was like, oh, I should have recorded this. So I'm probably going to either take a break from the work on that, although it's almost done. But either way, I'm going to end up recording a Blender video. I'm pretty good with Blender, but I'm not too great. But that's mostly on the sculpting side. All right, it made it past the cast checked. And of course that's null, so it's probably going to crash. Because actually, was I smart? I was smart. Yay. Okay. So it's still not going to work because, yeah. But actually, but why? Now I'm actually a little unsure of myself here because I set the configuration and, well, maybe that had to happen. No, still not working. What did I miss? Player settings component input configuration. That should be what I just set here, right? Input configuration, yeah. So let's find out what's going on here. Let's hit play again. Why you know? Okay, well that is odd. You should not be null. I do not understand what is going on here. This should be completely straightforward. It should be getting input configuration from the variable, but it seems to be setting it to null. So all of that fumbling around, it was because I forgot to change it in the game mode. And that, with that, it finally works. I thought that would be just a couple of 10 minutes at most. It took way too long. But look at that. There she is. She's in the sunlight. Going towards those mountains. Okay. Good call. Good. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to add, and I think I'll add it to the data asset, in configuration data asset, right? What we need here is another U property. And this will be, I think, for now, I'm just going to make it a, or no, not an input action. I need an input context. Input mapping context. Default input mapping context. Okay. Now, with that, I also need a begin play. I think that's protected, right? So let's void virtual void begin play. Maybe it's public. Okay. So here in begin play, I want to bind the that variable I just made, which is what? What don't you like? Oh. Right. That's not the right place for it. What I do need is a getter for it, though. Okay. Why did I make this? Oh, it actually does have stuff in it. Okay. All right. That's. I want to begin play on the No, I want it on the player controller. Okay, so if player settings point. I want to say add mapping. Is it add input context? I need to get the subsystem right. Hold on. So I need to get that subsystem, and I can get that from new local player get subsystem, and then the type, which is U enhanced, and then I need to pass in get local player. So now once I have the subsystem, I should be able to do subsystem add mapping context player settings component. This. Not sure I like the repetition of the code here. All right, what don't you like? Oh, what other parameters do I need? Priority. This should be like, everything else should be able to go below it, but I don't know. Let's see, what does it do with priority here? Higher priority mappings will be applied first. Okay, so I want to do, I just set that to a 0 then for the default. Although maybe I should make that a constant. I think I will. Where can I put that? Oh, what the heck. I'll just drop it in here. What do I want to call it? I want to call it input priority default 0. And then I'm going to, let's see, define input priority user 1. And then define input priority object. And we'll make that like, oh yeah, we could just make it 2. All right, so go back here, and I'm going to say input priority default. And then one more parameter, right? F modify context option, so it can leave that null. Okay. Okay, so if I do that, I should, in theory, this should be basically the same as what I have going on in here, right here. So I'm going to disconnect that. And we should still have working movement. But of course we do not. Oh boy. What now? Are you not calling this? Oh, wait. Default input mapping context, IMC Mayday. Save. Forward, left, right, back, diagonal. I can rotate around. Look at her in the sun. Woohoo. Okay. So if I look over here, Mayday player character, now that I've moved the input stuff out, is basically empty, which is fine at this stage. Thing is that I realized as I was looking at it, I'm going to leave the I want to leave the ability system component in there, but why did I put camera and camera boom in there? Did I have a reason for that? What's using it? Is anything using it? No, just the setup stuff. That's kind of what I figured. Yeah, okay, so I probably had a good reason for it, but I don't know what it is. And this also can go away. I'm gonna leave tick because it's not gonna get called anyway, because I have beacon ever tick to false. So yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that. Let me go to Mayday player character.h. Oh, I guess I cut. No, well, I wouldn't have done that. That's okay. Okay, then we need to add the .h files, and we should be good there. From the character's perspective, hopefully nothing will have changed. Okay. That works. Awesome. That was easy enough. Now, let me comment a little bit here. So let's say setup camera. Boom. This is setup camera. And okay. That looks good to me. And then up here we have, this is the player controller, now has the movement stuff. But if you look at the implementation, it controls the pawn, right? So I think this is exactly how I want it to work. Except for jump. Jump, I want it to become a an ability. So that I haven't gotten that far yet. I need to put together the ability system and stuff like that. There is the component there in the base class, but it's just sitting there. I think I put that in because it was all part of the already part of the template, or writer suggested it, or I was just feeling like, yeah, I'm going to definitely need this. Thanks for watching the Broken Clock Workshop. As always, have a great day.